Welcome to Azure Data Factory Real-Time Scenario 3. Azure Data Factory. How to use parameters in Azure Data Factory. So before going to understand how to use the parameters in Azure Data Factory, let us understand a scenario. So my file is in HTTP server. So I need to copy this file HTTP server to the sync folder. In sync, my is Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So I need to copy a file Gen2. So what are the things I required? So I'm using first of all ADF. And I required the following things: two linked services and two data sets, one copy activity and one pipeline. So to copy a file from sync to destination, we required to perform 6 activities. So for one file, 6 activities. Suppose I need to copy one more file. So one more file. Why to perform again 6 activities here? Suppose I want to copy one more file. Where to perform again 6 activities? That means 6 activities again creating 2 data sets and 2 linked services, 1 copy activity and 1 pipeline. So what we are feeling that so performing this many operations is time consuming. So to overcome this, we are using parameters. So how can we use parameters? So we'll go to our portal and I will show you how to use parameters. So let's go to Azure Data Factory, and this is my Azure Data Factory. Just I'm opening the Azure Data Factory. So let me show you one operation. So my files are first in this vaccine tracker, and one more thing. So I need to copy all the files one by one. So but I require to do only the few things. What are the things? Only one data set, one source data set, one sync data set, and two linked services, one copy activity, and only one pipeline. So how can we do it? We'll do it in our portal. Now let me go to the manage and click on create a linked service. My source linked service is HTTP. So click on HTTP. Click on and give here your parameterized parameterized http and so I need to give here base URL. The base URL nothing but from here the original URL. So this is my base URL. So I don't want to copy here, just I want to parameterize. So how to can we do parameterize? So we will go to the parameters. Under the parameters we have the word new, and then you have to copy here. Then you have to give the name of the parameter. So I'm giving here source base URL. Now go to your parameters and click on add dynamic content. Click on source parameters. And here my basic authentication is anonymous. Now click on test connection. So it is asking, say, before we are just dynamically typing, but here we are this asking, so we need to give the base URL. So let me type here base URL and click on OK. See, my test was successful, so I can create. So this is the only one linked service that can be used for all copy activities. Next, we require destination or sync linked service. So my sync is Gen 2. So here linked service data lake AD LS Gen 2. So here the simple thing as we are doing, we are not doing anything new. And a storage account is ADLS. My demo storage click area Gen 2 account, and I click on create Before create, we'll do test connection was successful. Create a click on create. So I have completed both the linked services. Now let me go to the other tab and click on data sets. So required only two data sets. One is sync data set and one is destinations data set. My sync data set is HTTP. So search for HTTP and click on continue. Delimited file. My file is, so click on view the data set name. DS dataset HTTP sync. So this is my dataset and we to choose linked service and I know that headers and click on OK. So for the source dataset and one more is destination dataset. My destination dataset is Gen2. Click on Gen2, click on create, delimited file, comma separated, view the name. DS underscore sync. So this is my output folder. Click on OK. Now, so I have completed both the sync and destination. We need to do some operations or some settings. So as we are saying that we are working on the parameters. So parameters are here. So click on two parameters. One is for base URL. One is for relative URL. So my base URL and one is for relative URL. Now go to the connection and see here. There will be a source base URL. Click here, add dynamic content. Click on source base URL. Click on OK. Next, relative URL. Same thing, add dynamic. Add here. Click OK. If you want, you can text the connection also, but you need to give the URL that will be given at the time of runtime or debugging time. So I have completed with my source. Sorry, let me change. HTTP is my source. Next, I'm going to for my sync. The same thing. There will be a small changes and output. And under the output, we want to give here out any folder. You can give it data. So I'm giving here folder name is data, and the file names can be added dynamically. So what is the file name? So I need to parameterize this file name. So let me go to here and here file name. So we have completed everything with source data set and linked and destination data sets. Let us go for pipeline and create a pipeline. Give the name of the pipeline. Pipeline PL pipeline underscore HTTP to Gen2. And we require the copy activity. So search under the copy activities. So click on copy and drag here. Give the name copy data. My source is, we have to select the source data set. So data source data set is, this is my source data set and it is asking some values. And so let me do later. Next sync is sync data set. So we have to use sync data set. So before that, we need to again some parameters we have to provide. So there are three parameters we need to provide. The first one is source URL, source base URL, and the next one is source relative URL, and the third one is sync file name. Just I given I think file name only. So let me change here only file name. Now go to the copy. And here we need to provide some in the source. We need to provide the source where just add dynamic content, give the source base URL, and under the relative URL the same process. Relative URL, go to the sync. and we provide the file name. Finish. So we have finished. So now we'll just validate it. Click on validation. So your pipeline has been validated. Now click on debug. So at the time of debug, so it will ask all the things. What's the source base URL? What is the relative base URL? What is the file name? So we'll provide. So my the first thing I'm just copying here. From here to here, it is my source base URL. So copy, and here it is paste. And my relative URL is from COVID to Geo. So my and just let me give the file name also. So it is vaccine tracker data. So this is my file name. So I'm click on copy or OK. Sorry. Now the debug will be started soon. So we need to wait 1 or 2 seconds to finish it. So it is under in the status. We have to check the status is skewed. So we need to wait 1 or 2 minutes. So now the status has changed. It is in progress. So we have to wait for 1 or 2 minutes, I guess, to finish success. Still it is in progress. So I'm waiting for the status. It should be successful. See, now the status has successful. So I have to click on this specs. So we can see that. So my source is HTTP server and destination is Azure Data Lake Gen 2 storage account, and I'm using the central India. So what happened here? Files read. How many files did read? 1, and written files also 1, and it will give all the details. Now let me go to my Azure portal and let us see whether the file has copied or not. Now go into the Azure data storage. Click on demo storage because this is my storage. Click on containers. Oh, sorry, not this Azure. So we have to go for storage account. We are copying to Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So go into the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 container and output and the data. So the one file has copied. Suppose I need to copy the second file also. So I do not to perform all the activities. Just I want to debug it. Just I want to copy here. See, suppose I want to perform the second activity. Let us go to Azure Data Factory and retry it. That's it. So just give in this base URL and give here destination. What you can say relative URL and just give the file name daily.csv. So just click on OK. That's it. Again, the output will be changed. So it will be taken within 1 or 2 minutes. So we have to wait. See, the pipeline has started and the status is queued. So again, we need to wait 1 or 2 minutes to finish it. Now the status is in progress, the same as we done the previous. We need to wait it. See the success. So we are by this we are copied 2 files. If you see, we can send the same specs. Now see again the files read 1 and what we can say that written also 1. Let us goes to Azure portal and refresh it. Azure Data Lake Gen 2 storage. So we are copied these 2 files, but we are not see. Let me go to once. But we are not copied again. We are not performed any data sets here. We didn't change anything here. But we are using the single data sets. One is source, one is destination, and only one pipeline. But we are copying multiple files from HTTP server. So it is one of the most useful activity in real time. So thank you.